process and the atmosphere of my thought to create this room. Right? I used this expression of the atmosphere of my own thought to create this whole room. Because as we were talking about earlier this morning, the perception, right? How I perceive this room is my doing. I give this room meaning, right? You're all in your room. Sometimes it's a little mind-boggling. So, today I want to talk about the creative process. This is what we're talking about today, the creative process, and how we can use this divine, beautiful gift that we have called the science of mind and the creative process to create the life that we want, to create the life that we can just allow to be made known into our experience and into our expression. So the science of mind and the creative process are, Ernest Holmes was very clear in stating that he is not the original thinker of the creative process. He's not the original thinker of the science of mind. The science of mind is an accumulation of many, many different philosophies. He believed that he was just the synchronizer, right? The mystical correlator, bringing universal spiritual principles from many practices into a practical, usable, and repeatable format, right? So that's the creative process, a practical, usable, and repeatable format that in the science of mind we have honed down into this expression called spiritual mind treatment, right? So Ernest Holmes said, within us, then, there is a creative field which we call the subjective mind. Around us, there is a creative field which we call the subjective. One is universal and the other is individual, but in reality, they are one. There is one mental law in the universe, and where we use it, it becomes our law because we have individualized it, right? So this is my room because I have individualized the expression of every thought I've put into motion, every seed I have planted into the law of mind to bring forth this beautiful reflection of this experience and expression. And you guys are so good looking. I am so good at this. Right? So good at this. So another aspect of, there are two aspects. So Ernest Holmes talks about big words like subjective and subjective mind, right? So let's boil this down. Reverend Jesse Jennings, he said the two aspects of consciousness are simply this: thought plus emotion equals belief, right? Thought plus emotion equals belief. So it is the feeling that we put behind the words and the action that we're doing that creates and brings forth, right? It's the gasoline. It's that beautiful sacred gift of practice until we get it, right? So we practice every day by adding new thoughts, changing the patterns of our belief through when we are feeling the stuff that we don't want to feel, right? We have to first start here. We have to first thought start here. So Jesse, he continues with, it is done as we believe. It's not necessarily done to us as we think or as we feel, but unite those two, and what results is dynamic, creative powerhouse. Now, I love that word, powerhouse. In the reading this morning for in our study group, the word storehouse, right? Because there is an infinite field. We are in that infinite field of possibility, that level of consciousness that is back of all things. That's where we get our light. There's an infinite, never-ending light that is fueling everything. I am a part of that, therefore I must be that light. We are one and the same. And so as I recognize that my power is fueled and sourced by an infinite supply, I just think that powerhouse, right? I am plugged into this magnificent powerhouse, and I can change my experience based on changing my thoughts and adding some feeling. And when that happens, life becomes directed, life becomes focused, life becomes aware as we become aware of it. So Greg Braden is a doctor, and he said, late in the 20th century, experiments confirmed that we're bathed in a field of energy that connects us all with the events of our world. Given names that range from quantum hologram to the mind of God, research has shown that through this energy, the beliefs and prayers within us are carried into the world around us. Both science and ancient tradition suggest the same thing. We must embody in our lives the very conditions that we wish to experience in the world. Cool. I'm going off script now. Right? He said, science and ancient tradition. Ernest Holmes, first page of this beautiful sacred book called The Science of Mind. I'll get it eventually. We all get it eventually. That's the point. We all look forward to the day when science and religion shall walk hand in hand through the visible to the invisible. Science knows nothing of opinion, but recognizes a government of law whose principles are universal. Yet any scientist who refuses to accept intangible values has no adequate basis for the values which he has already discovered. Revelation must keep faith from reason and religion with law, while intuition is ever spreading its wings for greater flights, and science must justify faith in the invisible. Right? So a scientist, the founder, all talk about the same thing. We're all talking about the same thing. The scientists use the invisible to create things, right? We didn't understand gravity. It's always present. We didn't understand electricity until someone was like, ooh, a light bulb over my head. Right? We don't know what we don't know. And here we are, this vessel of an infinite intelligence. So we just recognize and become a part of the powerhouse, the storehouse, being charged in, plugged in to recognize. So the last quote I'm going to share is by a priest, a philosopher and mystic, Teilhard de Chardin. He's French, so I should be able to say his name as a French person. But, he said, "You are not a human being in search of a spiritual experience." Sound familiar? He said it before some of the people who said it. Right? You are not a human being in search of a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being immersed in a human experience. This human experience we are immersed in, and it is the divine presence that we are immersed in. And so I'm so excited about the creative process. Tammy found out what today is. She's like, of course this is you. Right? This is the Science of Mind teaching symbol that is broken down into this beautiful. I love this board. It's soft. It's so simple. And so this is the creative process, right? So here in our symbol is seed, soil, plant, right? This is our basic teaching model in Foundations. Seed, soil, plant, right? And so got little seeds and little dirt and little trees. This, in its wholeness, this little tiny seed in its wholeness is always perfect, always whole, always complete. And inside that seed is already the whole of this tree. It is already the wholeness of the expression. I love watching Shannon watch me talk. I'm getting it. Right? It's mind blowing. The whole cosmic energy of an oak tree is already in the seed. God doesn't have to go hang out with the seed after it's planted and go, you are an oak tree, you are an oak tree. Everything I am is an oak tree and you are already in. No, we don't have to do that. Right? We give it to the powerhouse. We give it to the storehouse. We say, here's my order. I am an oak tree. you already are that which you are seeking. You already are the divine expression of your perfection. This is who you are. It just might now be in the time frame of here. Right? You might be in the planting. But the harvest, when the planting is done, the harvest is guaranteed.
Just need love and nurturing.
Yes.
And water.
Yes. Absolutely. This beautiful soil right here, this beautiful soil that's in here, right? This beautiful soil is rich, fertile, is always saying yes to you, is always recognizing that you are planting those seeds, right? And so when we are planting the seeds of not enoughness, or lack consciousness, or I don't look good in these pants, right? What you're planting it in the same rich and fertile soil. The seed is going to grow, right? So if we want this gorgeous, I just saw you rubbing this now. For the sake of rubbing it. This is the whole. This is already here. So we plant our seeds in the law of mind using the creative process with intelligence, with direction, with focus, with intention. So that our leaves are turning green and our everything, right? And everything we do in this level of the soil is guaranteed to produce whatever it is, right? You put some fertilizer in there and you're going to get some good product, right? You put some pH balanced water and some lovely good vibes, you are going to get magnificence. This is how it works. So, in Thomas Schroer talks about this, an example of if you fold an airplane or a fold piece of paper into a dart and throw it, it's going to go in accordance to its design, right? It's going to flow how you've designed it. And so if you crumple up a piece of paper into a ball, and it's not going to glide the same way as that, right? So how do you direct your thoughts? How do you direct your thoughts?
Some paper planes don't fly very well.
I know. There's some tricks. There's some tricks to that. Absolutely. So how to use the creative process?
They know.
Yes, absolutely. I think we'll have some paper plane making after this. There's paper everywhere, right? So step number 1 in the creative process is to have a new idea, a new thought. If what it is you don't want anymore is your expression, right? So whether it's an old idea or a new idea, it repeats, and becomes a part of your experience. So in the creative process, to direct it, to become in alignment with it, you set in your new idea, your new vision, and your new choices, and you operate in accordance. So you can either create just more fertilizer, or you can create the beautiful rose bush, right? It's up to us. So step number 1 is thinking about what it is you would like to, what you prefer, right? Contemplate. If you're not where you want to be, contemplate, think about, meditate upon where it is you want to be. Think about, meditate, contemplate upon what makes you happy, right? Because we know that when we are focused on the things that don't make us happy, what comes? What are we planting? More unhappy thoughts. We're fertilizing that soil. And we're growing what it is that's coming from those seeds we're planting, right? So contemplate, think, journal out, right? Like get it out of you. Be creative. Think about those things that you can do that can change your physical expression. I yelled upstairs. I'm like, music makes me happy. Thanks for letting me know. Right? So step 2, step into that picture that you're creating in your mind. Step 2, step into it, right? This art makes me happy. Singing makes me happy, but I'm never going to sing again. Why would you do that to yourself if you know what makes you're happy? If you know what brings you happiness, step into it. Lean into it. Be that like the receiver of what makes you happy. Step 3, keep doing it. Keep doing it until you notice that things have started to change. Right? Ernest Holmes says, treat and move your feet. So you set your intention, and then you go to the gym. Right? You set your intention, and then you pick up your guitar. You set your intention, and then you dust off your paintbrushes. You set your intention, and then you go back to school. There's a movement, there's a flow. We bring ourselves into the flow when we are setting the stage for our goodness. Step 4. Right, this is the easy one. Relax. You've just done it. You've done everything that you've needed to do. You've planted your seeds, you've watered it, you've stepped into your experience and your expression, knowing that something is going to change, something is good is coming. So relax, enjoy. And then when you're ready, go back to step 1 and pick something new. What else makes me happy? What else makes me grow? What else makes me expand my consciousness? Where do I go from here? Every single day. Every dang day. Right? Every single day we are planting seeds. We have the choice, the power, and the intelligence to plant the seeds we are choosing to plant. You know, sometimes I wake up grumpy, and I know that's hard to believe.
Me too.
Yeah, right? Sometimes you wake up grumpy. And we can like go all day in that grumpy, or we can say, hey, I notice, I've become aware that I'm feeling grumpy. But what I want in this day is love. I want to be love. I want to be an expression of love. So what needs to happen to the grumpy?
Happy.
I just need to, grumpy makes you happy?
Change it to being happy.
Yeah, you can change your mind. We are within the presence of an infinitely rich and fertile soil. Every thought can be changed. Every thought can become more and more and more and more aware. Right? So Ernest Holmes said in Science of Mind, page 43. We haven't gotten there yet in the study guide, or at our study group yet, so everyone's welcome to join 9:15 morning. All is love, and yet all is law. Love rules through law. Love is the divine givingness. Law is the way. Love is spontaneous. Law is impersonal. We should study the nature of reality with this in mind. We shall see that there is an infinite spirit operating through an infinite and immutable law. In this cosmos and not chaos find an eternal existence in reality. Love points the way, and law makes the way possible. Right? So in that place of love, the divine presence wants you to be happy. It wants you to be a living embodiment of its ever-givingness. It is simply reflecting its truest nature through everything you are. And the law of mind, that beautiful sacred law, tells us, scientifically proves to us, that when we plant this seed, we will get this tree. Right?
Yeah.
If I plant a tomato seed, what am I going to get?
Tomatoes.
I'm going to get tomatoes. Right? We have the power to plant whatever it is we want. And we are a part of a system, an infinite intelligence that will always say yes to whatever seed we plant. This is true, and this is true, and everything in between is just that beautiful sacred gift of understanding who we are and operating in that happiness. So a part of the way to really get this is to create powerful affirmations. This is the teaching tool of today, is affirmations. And affirmations are the middle section of a spiritual mind treatment. Right? It's to affirm in the positive that which is already. Right? We're planting the seeds. so to be an effective affirmation, we want it to be personal. We want it to be in the I am, in the I know, those power statements. I am beautiful, whole, and complete. I am an infinite source and supply of that which is good. I am. Or I know my abundance is already here. And I let, I allow. I have the power to allow that good into my life. That's how powerful you are. Right? That's how powerful you are. You have the power to allow that good into your life. Affirmations should be present, like they are happening right now. That they are already here. My good is right here, right now. I am that which I already seek. We want active language to indicate the action that we are doing, having, receiving, right? I am abundance. I am prosperity. And we want to use language that feels right for us. Like if you're not a poet, you're not going to write like this big, long affirmation about the divine outlook of source is ever present, because if that doesn't resonate with you, but you are, I am good at my job, that's an affirmation that you can get into, right? So use language that speaks to you. And you want to stay in the positive. You don't want to say things that you want to leave behind. Move forward, right? Past is gone. Can't change it. It's gone. Even the word I just said right now has no more meaning because I'm right here. So we think in the positive, we think in the now, and we think knowing that we are moving forward as if we are already in that place. And so, my challenge for you this week is to choose one aspect of your life that you want to grow, change, or evolve. And write out 5 affirmations for that good that you want to bring into your life. And then I want you to choose one of those affirmations that when you say out loud to yourself, you really feel it. You're like, that's the one. And then I challenge you to write that one out and place it in several places in your home or where you're going to see it throughout the week. And every time you see it, come back to that awareness. This is the truth of my being. This affirmation is my truth right here, right now. I'm living my good. And just come back. It's like in meditation, you come back to the breath, come back to the breath. Every time you see that affirmation, come back to your good. Take a moment for yourself to come back to the good that you know is already here. Right? So we're going to put that into action right now. What's today's affirmation? So if you choose to say this out loud with me, perfect. The law of mind is operating through me in divine and perfect order. My thoughts, words, and actions have power, and I use this power with intention and trust.